Hello everyone, and thank you so much for coming to the first video of my Unpolished Path podcast. I've been doing this for about the last couple of months, but I've only been doing audio, so I'm so excited to finally do video with you here today. And today we're going to talk about something that has been near and dear to my heart for a very long time, and that is the overfunctioning woman. I see a lot of women online talking about how they're carrying all the emotional weight. They're carrying the kids, their schedules, making the lunches every day, the cooking, the cleaning, the laundry, their husband's emotional needs, their husband's physical needs, and then they have nothing left for themselves. And we call that the overfunctioning woman. The reason why this is so important and how so many women are experiencing this right now is because many of us were not taught that love can exist without having to earn it. It's not even really our fault. We were taught by society that a woman's worth 20 years ago was the cooking, the cleaning, the taking care of the kids, the managing of the household and making sure that everything was okay. Some of us were taught that we had to earn love by doing those things. And as a result of that, we've been doing that and overfunctioning for years. And I say years, very pronunciated, because some of it has been 5, 10, 15, or 20 plus years. This topic is so near and dear to me because I too am a recovering overfunctioning woman. I realized this about a year ago when I hit 46 years old and realized that I didn't know who I was without managing my entire family, and that I hadn't left anything left for myself. My career, my life, my relationships, everything was all about everybody else, and that I really didn't have a lot left for me. Not only that, but what I realized was that what if it all went away? What if the job went away? The family, the kids grow up and leave. The husband's no longer here anymore. What do I have left for me? And I realized that I had spent a lot of time catering to everyone else, thinking that because I was overfunctioning, because I was managing, because I was helping, because I was doing everything that everybody wanted, that would earn me a place, that would earn me love. And boy, was I wrong. See, I came from a generation where we weren't really taught self-care. It's nobody's fault. It's no one to blame. It's basically the era that most of us in our 40s and beyond grew up in. Self-care wasn't a thing back then. Women were overfunctioning and they were expected to. But after being in the therapy world and coaching world for over 17 years, I finally realized that is not correct. There is a major imbalance when it comes to that. And we're not just talking about selfish men versus selfish women or narcissistic men. We're talking about people in good, loving relationships, people who actually do genuinely care about each other, but have fallen into this trap of the woman overfunctioning and everyone else around her just being okay with that. And they're not okay with it because they don't love her. They're not okay with it because they don't appreciate her or because they don't see all the work that she does. They're okay with it because it's been existing like that for so long. They're okay with it because she was okay with it, because she thought that's what she was supposed to be doing. They're okay with it because she didn't complain. She never spoke up. She never asked for help. She never said, I'm drowning. She just did it. So this is what we're going to talk about today, because I feel in my heart that there are so many other women that need to hear this and that are probably in this same position right now and don't know what to do with it. Let's talk about first what overfunctioning looks like in a normal loving relationship. It looks like one partner, and typically it is the woman, although it can be the man. One partner is carrying all the emotional labor in the relationship. And what I mean by that is they're managing the kids, all of their emotions, all of their ups and downs, all the things that they've got going on in school, their friendships, packing their lunch every day, going to all their sporting events, knowing all the calendar stuff, making all the doctor's appointments, okay? And then we've got the other partner who just sort of rides along. Then we've got the management of the household. She's also doing the dishes, the cleaning, the cooking, the laundry, all of the things in the household that need to be done. And the other partner's just kind of waiting to be told what to do. Then we've got the partnership itself, where she's the one bringing up all the issues, bringing up all the hard conversations, managing her husband's or partner's emotions when he has a hard time, and giving him free access to her and her body, regardless of how tired or overfunctioning she might be. Now, make no mistake, this doesn't happen overnight. This is not something that you enter into the relationship with and it just sort of happens. When we enter into a relationship as an overfunctioning woman, we're gung-ho, we're open-hearted, we're ready to help, we want to do some of those things. We don't even realize how that might impact us 20 years down the road. And if I could say one thing to my younger self, it would be, it's not your fault, honey. You didn't know. You didn't know that this would impact you years and years to come. You went into this with an open heart, full of love and attention and a lot to give, and didn't realize that that would put you in a status quo for years to come. But somewhere along the way, you started thinking, why am I doing all this? Why is nobody helping me? Why, when I say I'm overwhelmed or I'm tired, does nobody notice? And it's not that they don't notice. They do notice. But the problem is that you've made it to where your overfunctioning has now made them complacent and comfortable. And that's the hard part to swallow, I think. So what happened with me was I woke up at 46. I had gotten laid off from my job of the last 5 years. And I had nothing left for myself. I felt lost. I felt like I didn't have anything else to do. So I went about the job of starting to manage the kids in the house and really put myself into that. And then I realized I still wasn't happy. I still wasn't functioning. And I thought, well, maybe I'm just still, decompressing from the job, because my job was also helping people, comforting people, doing that all day, every day for 8 hours a day for years. And so then I realized I don't know how to take care of myself because of the fact that I've been taking care of everybody else for so long. And that is the crux of the overfunctioning woman. Not only do you not know how to take care of yourself, but when you start to realize that you need more, you need to be poured into more by yourself and others, it then changes the dynamic of your whole entire family. And sometimes it's not good at first because of the fact that you've changed the game. It's not a conscious change. It's something that happens slowly, where you start to realize, I don't want to do all that. I don't want to manage all that. I don't want to be the only one. So then we start doing things as an overfunctioning woman, like asking, over-explaining, trying to get other people to understand our perspective and where we come from. And although that sometimes works, or maybe temporarily works, it doesn't work long term, because they might see the immediate need and meet it and give you that breadcrumb, but the long-term effects are still there. They're still expecting for you to go back to the status quo. So then what begins to happen is you start to build resentment. And we all know resentment is a silent killer of relationships. So then we see the overfunctioning woman start to become resentful, start to pull back, start to become very angry, and start to stop doing the things that she was doing overfunctioning. She stops making the lunches and managing the kids and doing the laundry and figuring out what's for dinner and catering to her husband's physical and emotional needs. And then what we see happen is the backlash. Her being called selfish, her being called difficult, her being called too much, her being called over emotional. What's wrong with you? Are you in menopause? Maybe you should go get some meds. And this whole time she's thinking, it has to be me. It's my fault. But in reality, what it is the dynamic in the relationship and the house has been set. So after she's begged and pleaded, that didn't work. After she's over-explained, that didn't work. After she's stopped doing everything and become angry and resentful, that's not working. Then what do we do as overfunctioning women? Because we're exhausted and we're tired and we don't have any energy left for anybody else at some point. I'm going to tell you what I did. And this is not the end-all be-all. It's not the fix for everything, but it is a start. And it is one of the most important places we can start. And that is learning about self-care. One of the things that I did when I realized I was overfunctioning, and after I had done the over-explaining and the pulling back and the anger and the grief and the crying and all of the things, is I realized I don't know anything about myself and how to take care of myself. So I started doing research. And out of that research came a wonderful book that I wrote. And here it is. It's called Self-Care, No Guilt Self-Care, Embracing Self-Care Without Regret. And it is really about embracing how self-care isn't selfish of us as women, and how we were never taught to do self-care. And now that we're doing it, we tend to be called selfish, and it's really not selfish. It's essential. It's essential to our physical, mental, emotional well-being, our spiritual well-being, and all of the above. And it's not just something that you do on a day when you get some free time. It's not just bubble baths, getting your hair and getting your nails done, which a lot of people think. Self-care is a daily, intimate process that we need to be doing every single day. And we will get some backlash. We will get some backlash from our partner, from our kids, from our family members, from our coworkers, from our friends. Because again, we're changing the dynamic of what we have experienced with these people for so long. You might hear things like you're selfish. You might hear things like, why is it always about you now? You might hear some of those comments, but hold fast, because I'm telling you that when you get to the other side of taking care of yourself and you create the balance of saying no, of not overfunctioning, of taking care of yourself, and asking the other people around you to step up and grow, and you finally get there, it will be well worth it. I just wanted to come on here to tell you, sis, I see you. I hear you, and I know what you're going through. You're not alone. There's so many of us that have learned this, that are now unlearning how to overfunction. You might lose some relationships. You might change the dynamic of your marriage, and that may not make your partner happy. Your kids may not be as codependent as they used to be. You might encourage them to be more independent, and they might scuff and cry and throw a little bit of a fit about that for a little while. But I promise you that you're teaching the future, your legacy, you're teaching all of your generations beyond this to take care of themselves, and that overfunctioning and putting pressure on one single person to manage a household is not okay. And that's really the whole point I wanted to bring up today, is that we as overfunctioning women have to start taking care of ourselves. And that is where overfunctioning stops and self-care begins, and we can really start to really understand who we are beyond all of our relationships. I want to thank you for hanging in there with me today. I know that this is a lot of information, and I know that sometimes it can be hard to hear. If you're interested in the book, this one, it is on Amazon and in my stand store, which I will link below. And we're going to start talking about this some more, guys. This needs to be a topic that we discuss on a regular basis. Women and men need to hear this. And if you're a man today and you're listening to this and you think, oh, this is just a bunch of complaining or whining, I really want to challenge you with this. I want you to look at your partner and ask yourself, are they truly happy? If they took away you, if they took away the kids, if they took away the house, and you just look at your partner as a whole human being, do you really feel that your partner is happy? And if the answer to that is no, then she needs more self-care, and she needs that time to process that. That doesn't mean she's going to forget about you. That doesn't mean she doesn't love you, but she is going to challenge you to step up and to grow and to start functioning in ways that support her rather than rely on her. And if you're not sure how to do that, I do offer one-on-one coaching for either her or you, or both. And if you've listened to this whole podcast today, I know everything I need to know about you, that you care about your relationships, your family, your friends, and yourself. That's the first place to start. The next place to go is to start working on that self-care. And if you need help, the book is available for you. Namaste, and I will see you on the next episode of The Unpolished Path.